Hey guys, Camina the coach here. This is another second video 2 days in a row, and usually that is because something is up, and something is definitely up. Yesterday I watched my video that I posted yesterday, and I could tell my energy had come way down. And last night I kind of hit the bottom energetic wise. Sorry. I'm Camina the coach. This channel was originally dedicated to helping people to get emotionally right and get ready and prepared to working, living, and teaching abroad. With COVID, I moved back to the United States and started working on healing and addressing my early childhood trauma directly related to adoption trauma, being transracially adopted, a Black child adopted by white parents, and a late discovery adoptee. I didn't find out I was adopted until I was 32. So I am back overseas. I am currently in Cabo, Mexico. The date is November 6, 2022. And I'm not feeling great. And I'm so thankful for my toolbox. So please don't judge, especially if you're just beginning your journey. Please don't judge where you're at based on where somebody else is at, because everybody's journey is their own, and I've been at this for a really long time. I've been filling my toolbox for a really long time, and I can remember a time where I was like, why do I have all this knowledge and I'm not applying it? There will come a time where your toolbox is full enough and you have enough wisdom to be able to apply what you've learned to your life. If you are not doing it just yet, be kind and patient and loving with yourself. You will eventually. I promise, when it's time, you will. So I'm so thankful that I have been preparing for this moment all my life. The moments when I'm best are the moments when I'm not relying on anything outside of me, and I'm not self-soothing with any outside sources. So since I've moved back to Mexico, I have been filling my empty space with a lot of audiobooks, which on their own are not bad, but I've been very strict. I've discovered, because I'm a highly sensitive person, this is a genetic trait. I'm not just saying I'm a weepy person. I am genetically highly sensitive. If you haven't watched my video on that, go back and look for the video on highly sensitive people. It is a genetic trait, and because I am highly sensitive, much more sensitive than an average baseline person, I have to be very careful about what I put into my body. Physically, into my mouth, into my ears, things that I listen to, I have to take great care. And I quit listening to music and quit watching TV in 2008. And when I read or when I watch stuff, I make very sure that I'm only, putting in positive, uplifting stuff, because I recognize that feeding that space that will always be there of negativity is only going to make that grow and grow and grow, and then I end up pulling that to me because I end up feeling more negative. It all came crashing down on me last night because, as I mentioned in my last video, I've switched authors, and I really love the author, but and she writes some really poignant books. But the very interesting thing about authors, and what I've noticed since being back in Mexico, because I've started binging audiobooks, is that authors often use the same theme, the same type characters with the same type angst. And so this particular author always writes about a tall, angry, curly-headed girl, I'm not lying, by the way, with really extreme anger issues directly tied to childhood neglect and trauma. See any reason why that might be a problem for me? I'm 5'11", by the way. You probably can't tell from looking at me sitting here. I'm 5'11", curly headed, overly smart. Her character is usually overly smart, very, very angry, and justifiably so due to early childhood trauma. So here's what my toolbox, how my toolbox is benefiting me right now. Being aware of societal programming is very important in how you go forward in life. Being aware of how society tells you you should be. And especially for those of us brought up in industrialized communities, North America, United States specifically, there is a shift going on that we have still predominating, and in the books, in literature, on TV, on radio, everything is pushing us to relationship. Everything is pushing us to be in relationship with family, even if they've been abusive. Being in a romantic relationship, having children, and society just keeps telling us and keeps telling us and keeps telling us that this is what we need to be happy. Now, granted, we are social beings and isolation is a killer. I'm not talking about isolation, but I've done a video on this and I firmly believe this. Not all of us were meant to live in community like that. I don't have the faculty, I don't have the ability to be surrounded by people all the time. Some people do, especially people who draw their energy from other people's energy, extroverted people. In fact, their batteries begin to go empty when they're not in a setting where they can be around a lot of people. Some of us, especially as highly sensitive, highly introverted people, do not have the faculty, we do not have the gear to be in these situations. So the book last night had me in tears and really questioning, did I just need to put all my differences with my biological family aside? Do I need to just go back to this smokestack town in Lima, Ohio, that, mind you, my father wasn't even living in. So his family lives in this smokestack town, but he didn't. He left there, and as he was nearing the end of his life, he went back, but my father left there, but the majority of his family is still there. And so this piece of literature had me questioning, do I need to go back there? Do I need to put my values aside and just figure out how to have it was just all very unhealthy realizations going outside of what I know about myself, making me question what I know about myself. And questioning is good, but not to the point that it puts you in a crisis situation. And I really was, and kind of still am, teeter-tottering on a crisis type situation. I feel very uncomfortable right now. And it is because I had probably 3 of this woman's books back to back. And so I am at a place right now where I need to detox. Before, like I said, being in Mexico has been very unsettling for me. I have not been able to do a lot of sitting alone in silence the way I should. I am not able to shut down in the evening the way that I should. So being outside of my routine has put me in a place of disquiet. And so today because I hit bottom, like I said, I am returning to a state of quiet, which I find very uncomfortable for the first time in a very long time. I am not meant for traditional relationships. I'm not meant to be surrounded by, it's too late for that for me. Maybe if I would have Now, mind you, I recognize that my soul chose this route because I could not have achieved my soul purpose had I come into a family where I was deeply connected, because my connection to my family would have interrupted my mission. However, I'm sure that because I have done it in past lives, if I would have been born into a loving family, I could have been easily part of a loving family if that would have been my history, but it is not. And it was not and is not. I can have relationship from a distance. I can have relationship for moments in time, but to have people in my space, to live with someone, to see someone every single day, to talk to someone every single day, is not how I am made up. And it's okay. It is. It's okay. And how dare society tell me that I'm somehow lacking and that I should feel less than or empty or alone or lonely because I'm not equipped for this. I've found peace with the understanding that I'm not meant for traditional. And society keeps telling me that I should be, there's something missing, something not quite right with me if I don't want these things that society is telling me I should want. And again, that's why I'm saying that I made the choice to pull back from mainstream because of this messaging, speaking to my subconscious, making me feel disquiet and unease, because I have accepted my mission, my purpose, and who I am, and my space, and the life that is kind of who I am and what I'm doing. But if I fall back into that mainstream message, then I start to feel unhappy and lacking. And the truth is that I'm not unhappy and not lacking. I had a really rough year, 2021. That reunion year was a really rough year. I'm much better now. I'm in a much better space, and I enjoy romantic partnership, but I can't. I could be coupled potentially, but there's no way I could sleep with someone every single night. There's no way that, unless we had a very, very big house, the idea of a big house makes me feel anxious. Maybe living, I don't even know, next door even feels kind of close. When I mention it to someone, seeing somebody, 4 times a year, quarterly, and most people are like, who want traditional relationships, they're like, no, I couldn't possibly do that. I'm like, well, I understand that, but I'm not equipped to, and I refuse to lose myself to a romantic relationship, a friendship, and I've done it in friendships as well. Lost myself. Not being able, I have seen in friendships where I get to a point where I need to run everything by someone. And that's undermining my trust of myself, and it's not healthy. So really, I suppose this video is more a note to myself than anything else, but I know that my purpose is to speak to other light beings who are similar to myself. Unplug. Stop listening to the mainstream message if you know that you are not like the mainstream. It's not serving you to listen to messaging that is not healthy and actually not normal. What is normal? Those of us that are outliers, are we ever going to be what's considered normal? Normal for you. So listening to that programming that is meant for mainstream is not for you. So if you're feeling disquiet, if you're feeling unease, I would suggest maybe unplugging put down the phone, go out in nature, do some grounding. I know right now I'm feeling anxious at the idea of sitting in quiet, but I know that I've got to do it. So I'm going to spend today in quiet. Trauma response says I want to just fill it with like noise and space and stories and other people's words, but I really just need to spend some time getting back to me. And that's really all I had to say to you guys today. It's really important not to lose your trust in yourself, and being connected to mainstream all the time can take you outside of being able to trust yourself. So until next time, you beautiful people, I'm Kamina the coach, sending you love, light, peace, and joy. Until next time.